Agatha All Along has dropped its first teaser trailer, and Wanda Maximoff's family might play a bigger role than you might think. Alright, so to get the basics out of the way, this new Marvel series is being created by Jack Schaefer, who also created WandaVision, and it follows Agatha, who finds herself trapped in Westview after Wanda Maximoff, obviously played by Elizabeth Olsen, cursed her and left her behind. The premise is that Agatha is trying to regain her power as she decides to walk the quote, witch's road. In this new series, Agatha, played by Catherine Hahn, is joined by some familiar WandaVision faces like Deborah Jo Rupp, who played Westview's Sharon Davis, but there are also a ton of new actors joining like Aubrey Plaza, who seems to have a bit more of a central role, as well as Joe Locke, Patti LuPone, Sashir Zamata, and more. A lot of the actual names of their roles, however, are being kept very much under lock and key. Now, for the actual trailer, immediately off the bat, the trailer opens with Agatha driving to the scene of a crime where a body has been found, with Agatha appearing to be one of the detectives on the case. Based on everything from the feel to the way the characters are speaking, it feels very much like an homage to true crime shows like specifically Mare of Easttown. So it seems that Agatha All Along will continue to pay tribute to movies and TV series, like how WandaVision paid tribute to classic sitcoms, although that may only be while Agatha is still under Wanda's spell. We will see. Funnily enough though, the detective Agatha meets up with in those opening moments is played by David A. Payton, who also starred in WandaVision as well as Herb, aka Wanda and Vision's neighbor, aka Agatha's Westview husband. So this also means this is likely all happening inside Westview and by extension Wanda's old hex. Now when the trailer moves along, we get to see the actual crime scene and specifically the body the police have uncovered down by the water. A small detail you can see is that the tips of the person's fingers are black, which resembles the way both Wanda and Agatha's fingers appeared after they both started using the Darkhold. The body that is found is also wearing a hoodie and jeans, which is similar to what Wanda was wearing the last time she was seen in Westview in the WandaVision series finale. So bouncing right off of that, as you may have guessed, it's revealed in the trailer that the body is supposed to be Wanda's, because it's Wanda's name that appears on the card attached to the toe of the body in the morgue. But this is where things get weird, because you can see that this card is actually a library book card with the phrase State of New Jersey Public Library Westview Branch number 53961 seen on the bottom of it. As you might know, numbers rarely show up in Marvel, especially their shows, without meaning something. So number 53961 is actually the number of a reality involving Doctor Strange and Gina Atwater, who is a version of Christine Palmer, but in this reality, Gina is a sorcerer supreme, which you may think is me reaching for a connection, but it's actually not. This same reality was mentioned not only in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but also in 2 episodes of What If. What it means, I have no idea. But on the topic of numbers, there are several dates on this card, so obviously we have to dig into each one. The first date is February 16th, which is actually Elizabeth Olsen's birthday. The next date going down the list is August 28th, which is comic artist Jack Kirby's birthday. Jack helped create Wanda Maximoff alongside Stan Lee, whose birthday was December 28th, which is also on the card a bit further down. The third date down on this list is June 2nd, which is a bit more creepy, as this is the date that Bridget Bishop, the first person to be tried and convicted of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts, was tried and convicted. But on top of that, it's also Kevin Feige's birthday and the date of Agnes and Ralph's anniversary in WandaVision. As for the last date on the ticket, the one where Wanda's name magically appears, it's October 13th. Now, I had to dig a bit to find anything possibly worth talking about. For starters, 13 itself is a number that has held negative superstitions for centuries, for example Friday the 13th. Last year in 2023, October 13th was on a Friday, so maybe it's something to do with that, but also in the pagan calendar, which has significance with witches, October 13th is Fontinalia, which is a Roman festival where holy wells and springs were venerated. It's when the runic half-month of Win also commences. Win literally means joy and also stands for the creation of harmony within the given conditions of the present. What that means for the show, I kind of have absolutely no idea, and this is me totally reaching. Though, quote, harmony within the given conditions of the present definitely sounds significant for the idea of Wanda's Westview hex, but again, maybe I'm just reaching here. Now, when Agatha escapes out of Wanda's spell in the trailer, clawing her way out as Aubrey Plaza put it, we can see glimpses of some of Agatha's various outfits when she was trapped inside Wanda's hex in Westview, like her workout clothes from WandaVision episode 5, and when she pops up all black and white before the trailer finally moves on. This is when the music really starts to pick up, and the song playing throughout the trailer is Florence and the Machine's Seven Devils, which, as I can tell, has significance because you can see that there are possibly 7 members of Agatha's coven, or at least there are 7 characters including Agatha that seem to be the main cast. I'm just gonna keep calling them her coven because that makes sense. Next up, we see Agatha and her coven as we learn a bit more about how Agatha has lost her powers and is trying to regain it, opening up a pentagon-shaped door on the floor. Now, pentagons themselves are obviously very significant when it comes to witchcraft, as you probably know. We see a blue light shining up from whatever is under the door, and then in the next shot, there is literally a red-drenched shot of some kind of monster with wings. I have absolutely no idea what this is, but purely guessing here, that is either a vampire because I saw wings, or it's just another form of a witch, like maybe a witch who has turned herself into a more beastly form. But next up, in order to gain back her power, Agatha mentions walking the Witch's Road. Now, the Witch's Road is actually a storyline from the Scarlet Witch comics from 2015 written by James Robinson. The story of Witch's Road follows Wanda Maximoff across the globe to try and fix witchcraft, which is apparently broken. Although I feel like it may be a little different in the show, which is pretty obvious considering it's Agatha following the Witch's Road, not Wanda. And I think I can back that up because of the show's official synopsis, but more on that in a second. As we get glimpses of each of the witches in Wanda's coven, assuming that each one of these characters are indeed in the coven, we also get a glimpse of Joe Locke's character, who is obviously male, which is more warlocky than witchy, but whatever. And while everything about him is being pretty much kept under wraps, just like everyone else, many people believe that he will be playing an older Billy Kaplan, aka Wiccan, aka one of Wanda Maximoff's sons. In the comics, Billy Kaplan is born basically using the soul of Wanda's son after Mephisto reclaimed Wanda and Vision's twin boys. He's part of the Young Avengers, which according to the Marvel's ending will be a thing eventually, so maybe he will be joining up with Kamala Khan eventually if Joe actually ends up being Billy. Also, Billy is canonically queer in the comics, and so is Joe, so that would make some sense. Joe is all over this trailer too. There's even a moment in the trailer when you can see Joe's character in a red and white shirt and a blue sweatband, which is similar to what Billy Maximoff wore in WandaVision during the Halloween episode. And it's similar to Wiccan's look in the comics. But this is where we circle back to the show's synopsis. It reads, in Agatha All Along, the infamous Agatha Harkness finds herself down and out of power after a suspicious goth teen helps break her free from a distorted spell. Her interest is piqued when he begs her to take him on the legendary Witch's Road, a magical gauntlet of trials that, if survived, rewards a witch with what they're missing. Together, Agatha and this mysterious teen pull together a desperate coven and set off down the road. This is very interesting for all sorts of reasons. The trailer made it look like Aubrey Plaza's character was the one to break Agatha out of the spell, so I'm kinda interested to see more. But for now, that's all I really have. Thank you guys so much for watching today on Top 10 Nerds. Stick with us for more. I'll catch you on the flippy flop. Peace out, nerds.